Speaking of Uncharted, yeah, that big old remastered version's coming out real soon.
And Mark Mayfield gave us a gift to say thank you for that, by the way. Mark Mayfield gave us a little sound gift that we can play here on the show every time someone says Sully, Nathan Drake, or Uncharted.
You know, if you think about it, the Vita was kind of a golden abyss in itself.
You think so?
A real expensive hole for us.
Golden Abyss was an interesting game, I gotta say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But your thumb is hovering.
I really liked that game. It was one of my favorite games in the... What series was it in?
I think it was the Uncharted series.
Yeah. So we got a real funny little piece of
16
trivia.
people were in that band, by the way, to play that sample right there. It's a 16-piece orchestra.
I just imagine it's a really giant clarinet that's got like people hanging off the sides of it.
It's 3 clarinets, 6 vuvuzelas, and there's one guy who throws a large tambourine down the
just looks like
side.
a
tambourine?
Yeah.
An old-fashioned fire truck that's got a bunch of dudes blowing into it.
So we got this Uncharted. Uncharted is in the building right now. The Uncharted collection.
Yeah.
And the demo's out today. It's a very big demo.
Which one is it? Is it the?
It's Uncharted 2. It's what we saw at. No, Brian, no.
Fine.
Brian, no, you can keep hitting the button.
You guys are so mean.
You look like a real sad boy. I believe it's the level we saw at. Where are we? PAX?
Yeah, that's
so
the Warzone episode or issue.
Yeah, it's right after that truck tries to kill you in the small tunnel.
The gritty reboot of Crash Bandicoot, where you got to run away from something that's chasing you.
Yep.
What happens if you die in that section?
Yeah.
I wish your face could make a sound right now because you look real upset, man.
It would sound exactly like that sound, but slowed down about 40%.
It's gonna be Inception noise.
So the game's in the building right now. We're watching. We can talk about it, right? I think the embargo's up. There's a bunch of people in the office playing it. I've actually seen it get passed from person to person. Fun story. Jose Otero was supposed to review it for us. He loves Uncharted.
Yeah, he reviewed Uncharted 3 for 1UP.
Last night he was ice skating, which is something you can't do in any of the Uncharted games.
Yet.
We haven't played 4 yet. And he slipped and broke his elbow. So a lot of rules there. Don't ice skate.
Yeah, don't do things.
Don't be that tall.
Yeah, I mean, if you're that,
and take care of yourself.
As a big tall man, I'm going to say don't ice skate. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it at all. So that got passed over to Vince Ingenito, friend of the show, who's been on a bunch of times. He was on for the Metal Gear review, so we'll have him talking about the Uncharted review when we can get him.
But seeing it in action, the games look great.
Yeah.
You know? Like even 1, which if you went back and played 1 at any point recently, like it was an amazing looking game at the time, but it's definitely shown that it's the better part of a decade old.
Yeah.
But the games look incredible. They didn't. Some people were hoping that they were going to take sort of the shooting mechanics of 3 and then put them into 1 and 2, but they really didn't. I think mechanically the games are still 1-to-1 what they were back in the day.
They don't have that weird grenade wiggle thing, do they?
No, I think they got rid of it. Walking across the log.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought of that.
Yeah, remember that log?
I totally forgot about that log.
A log too far.
Really didn't like that log. No, they patched all that stuff in 1 pretty early on.
Yeah.
I think like they're not going to be the versions of the game that you remember fondly fakely. A lot of people do that where you're sort of just like, I remember that game. I have this vision of how it looked in my head. It's not that. And it's not. They don't look like Uncharted 4. But they look really gorgeous. I think geometry-wise, they're still pretty similar. Like they got a ton of new texture updates. It doesn't look like... I could be totally wrong, but it doesn't look like a ton was done in the animation department.
No.
Like they're
probably not. No.
They're like a little. I can't really explain it. They're sort of just like a little.
They added one brand new pot in each level, and the most hardcore fans will be able to spot that pot.
Yep. And there's a little spider inside them, and if you eat it, you die.
Oh no!
And if you die.
Thanks, Brian.
Beyond.
Yeah. No, I think that it's kind of weird how they marketed it and like announced and presented this, because like they kind of came out and they were like, "Hey, Uncharted Remastered Collection coming soon," and they showed like a sort of cinematic type of trailer, or was it?
Yeah,
they showed this flyover of a map, and it was I believe it was Sully was talking over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
he's
right.
just like, there's a lot of adventures and treasures, and sometimes
And
you
now
find
they've
what you're
been
looking
remastered.
for,
It's a
and-
whole collection.
Yeah. It was available in stores. And
Yeah.
It was odd. It was sort of just like, show us the game. We've seen them before.
Yeah, I think they could have done themselves a whole lot of favors by doing one of those kind of before and after shots. And being
Yeah.
like, here's the original.
Oh, yeah.
And it like maybe it isn't necessarily flattering. It's like being like going on a nice first date and showing off
Yep.
your high school yearbook photos, which
Yeah.
I do a lot.
You do
it's-
that? You
it's,
bring-
On your first dates?
weirdly
Wait,
fulfilling.
Can we talk about
I
the
bring
fact
a nice
that
yearbook.
you're engaged? You're still going on a lot of first dates? That seems like a
Well,
little
I
strangey.
keep getting in trouble because I'm going. That's why they're only first dates. Also, I bring my year anyway.
A good way to not get in trouble is to not keep committing the same crime over and over again.
Yeah.
It's called
Double
It's called
indemnity.
Double Jeopardy.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, but so I'm actually really excited to play these games again. It's easy to just to say that because they're classic games, but it's also like Uncharted's in the building. We've been talking about it with all the people who are working here, and it's a cool place to be in a time like that. There's just a bunch of people who are really passionate about that. And Sam Claiborne, just out of nowhere, was sort of just like Sam Claiborne, who's our managing editor here, was like, man, you know what I really love? I love the submarine scene in the first Uncharted game. And I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that section. Like that section is awesome. It is just like, I mean, there's not of the three games, that's obviously one of the toughest ones to get back to. But the submarine scene is like it's just a really cool moment. And then there's moments all throughout the second one where I'm just like, oh yeah, they're like classic scenes that I would watch. Like, you know, somebody links you to something of like a part in an Indiana Jones like Temple of Doom. Like
Yeah.
here's the minecart level, and I'm like, I have memories of Uncharted like that. So I'm really excited to go back and play them again.
Don't you pet like
That's
a real
awesome.
sweet yak
You know-
at one point?
Something. Yeah, you meet a whole
do.
bunch of wampas.
Yeah,
in
I don't
the-
want to spoil
the
anything.
Old tunnels of Hoth.
A lot of bad stuff happens in that.
So one thing I do want to point out, it's kind of funny to remaster.
Sorry, that was perfect.
Kind of funny to remaster a series called Uncharted. Be like, you're replaying it. It's still Uncharted.
It's been
we
charted.
lost the maps. They're brand new maps. They're all different.
Well, they couldn't have called it Recharted because that's
I think they should have called it Recharted.
they really should have.
They should have called it Recharted.
Andrew, you're back.
Beyond.
Beyond.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Welcome to Podcast Beyond, episode 400.
We already did that.
Oh, yeah.
Marty, that's why Marty drew 2 lines on this piece of paper
That's
to
where I said-
signify
that's where we
everything
are.
you should know.
And he wrote a minute 3 because that's when I said the F bomb.
No, that was
Oh man, I missed you
4:35.
guys talking about firmware and Vita. Those are the two things I was excited about.
That's
We
not the
talked
F bomb.
And that
we have
bomb
to
is
say, we
firmware,
have to put a
right?
meow every time someone says firmware.
Yeah,
Brian,
so
I like
you
how this says one apple in every bag at the bottom, by the way.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to do, right? Especially talking about that bag of apple chips that no one who's listening to the show can see. That's
Yeah,
another
thanks
weird
for
thing to do.
bringing some real noisy snacks that you can't see onto an audio mostly podcast.
I think the only thing worse than eating an actual apple is, in terms of bad noise, is crinkling a bag of.
Stop doing
Didn't
that.
one
Stop.
of you,
Get away.
Get
didn't,
away.
like Clements eat an apple on an
that was me.
episode? That was
me.
you?
Yeah,
Hey.
Panda Busk animated it.
All right. It's so gross to imagine. Thanks for not doing that today.
Oh, you're welcome.
You showed up late to this episode because
I
of
did.
some serious actual break. Give me the phone. Give me the phone.
All right, I'm putting it.
Give me the phone. Put that away.
I
If I
just-
see it again, I'm taking it.